episode of Baseplan Presents focuses on how to better manage certification expiry dates in your rental business, focusing on the following areas. Why managing certification expiry dates is important. How to view a skilled person. How to view and assign skills and expiry dates. Reporting on expired skills and certifications. Planning service and rental related work based upon someone's skills.
So one of the challenges that a lot of rental companies face is actually manage the certifications of certain areas within the business. So what that actually means is we might have a certain mechanic that needs to be certified in maybe elevated work platforms on how we can actually operate the machinery or what he can actually service based upon his qualifications. So often people will get those certifications, but then they'll have to manage those certifications on paper or in a spreadsheet or in a third-party system or whatever it might be in that instance. And if someone asks them to provide a list of those certifications, it's quite a task, and they might even actually forget to renew those certifications as well. We might have scenarios where someone needs to maybe be a diesel mechanic as well. So we want to see all of our mechanics that are actually qualified diesel mechanics. Or we might actually have a job site that requires certain types of inductions. So we want to know which of our drivers or which of our servicemen have actually completed that induction as well. So when we're planning that work. So I just want to talk through how we can actually manage these certifications and these skills within Baseplan Enterprise and how it can actually be reported on and used in certain areas. So if I just go up to the search and go skill, we can see here we've got a screen called skilled persons. So I can actually go into the skilled persons and filter on someone. As we can see here, I've got Peter, and it's got Peter's profile as a skilled person, and then what types of roles Peter can actually do on a mobile device and in certain things within Baseplan. So whether it's a driver, a mechanic, or an operator. But what we want to have a look at is actually the skills that we've actually assigned to Peter as well. And so these skills, if we look at this yellow card, for example, we can actually create these skills and then assign them, and then also assign a start and expiry date as well. So then we can start reporting on who has what skills and then who has an expired skill. Now, as you can see here, we can also start assigning things like customers and sites as well. So then we know, is Peter also certified to work on a certain job site, which we'll have a look at in a second. So one of the scenarios, as I said, might be that someone actually is requesting this information in terms of who is actually certified with these certain skills and actually who's actually expired. So we can also quickly run a report in here and show me all of my skilled persons, which we can create a custom report with a certain layout. But quite an easy way to do it is actually in this administrators tab that I've set up. So these are basically custom exception reports that we can run. And so I've just created a new one called expired certifications and also current certifications. So this will give me a list of all of my skilled persons, what the certification is, the from and expiry date, and if it actually relates to a particular job site as well. If someone wanted me to export this out into Excel and actually provide this quite quickly, as you can see here, we've got this Excel export button, and so I can click on export, and that'll actually take that data and put it into Excel, and then I can start doing something like that quite quickly. Now, I also want to talk about how we can actually use this data within Baseplan Enterprise as well. So let's say that we've got a piece of machinery that's out on rent, and it's at a certain job site that requires the mechanic to have done a site induction, for example. So if I just create a service call, which is where we report our breakdowns, and I can add a new one. Let's say we've got a generator that's out on rent. It's just letting me know that there's already an existing call, and it's out on rent at Valara's Construction, so it's pulled through the address and it's pulled through the site details as well, and who the contact is. I can put in the details here to say it was a breakdown, and I can start putting in things like the reason code, so breakdown, and then the category might be non-operational. Now what we can do is we can actually start assigning the skills here. So I can say show me so we know that North Connects have mentioned that they need to have an induction. So I can say, show me everyone that has the North Connects skill set. So when I go to my allocated list, it only pulls through people that actually have that particular skill set. If I change this over and said that they needed to be a mechanic, for example, that'll give me a larger list of people. So using those skills to also assign the relevant work correctly. Now, the other side of it is we might actually have operators of equipment that we might want to put out on rent as well. And so we can actually manage those skills in the planning calendar as well. So if I just went to my favorites down to my planning calendar here, I can type in a type of equipment. So I can say we want it to be a maybe a crane, a 250-ton crane, for example. And this will give me a list of all of my serialized items, whether it's currently out on rent and what the service status is as well. Now, we want to actually look at which people are certified to actually operate that crane as well. So I can actually, on the top left here, go to operators, and I can just hit filter again. And this will actually pull through all of the operators, and you can see when I hover over it, it'll actually tell me what skills they have and what their availability is as well. And you can see here, it's actually telling me that this Kevin Loth is actually expired in terms of operating this particular type of crane. So it just gives me that ability to plan people that actually need to operate machinery as well. Now, the last stage I want to look at is we can obviously set up those skills at the skilled person's level. We can start doing things at job sites, but we can also do it at the make model level as well. So maybe when someone is doing some certain service work, they need to be qualified in a certain area. So the way that we can actually do that, if I just go to my make model screen, I can search for a particular type. So maybe let's go with a diesel knuckle boom. And you can see on the bottom here, we've also got the skills section as well. So we can say when someone is completing certain types of service work on this particular model, which is a diesel knuckle boom, they need to be qualified as a diesel mechanic. And then you would obviously put a start and expiry date on their qualifications as well. So it's just a whole different, lots of different areas within Baseplan that we can sort of manage. But the main thing is that we can really start managing those exceptions on who's actually expired and then start actioning those to make sure that we are always compliant. If anyone has any questions around this session, please send through or leave a comment in the section below, and I hope to see everyone in next week's Baseplan Presents session.